If our conspiracy theorists are correct that existential truth is a thing that is suppressed by whatever it is that can be said to be the governing force of this world, then what is this truth? And why is it such a big deal? If our conspiracy theorists are correct, and this suppression of the truth really does take place, then what can this truth be? Because it can clearly only be a truth we haven't yet heard, because it is suppressed, yes? It cannot be a truth that is successfully promoted by conspiracy theorists and truth seekers that have well-established platforms, because conspiracy theorists and truth seekers that have well-established platforms are clearly not being suppressed, are they? Not like I and my work are demonstrably being suppressed. What does it take, in a world in which conspiracy theorists can become famous and their platforms prosper, to become genuinely suppressed? Because this turns out to be what I have. And the only reason I am even able to have it is because I wasn't especially trying to have it. I just started saying the truth for nothing but its own sake. Now, one might expect the answer to the question of what does it take to become genuinely suppressed around here to be the telling of the truth. But this isn't the answer. All kinds of truths are told and reported on every day, and it makes no difference to the state of the world. One of the main reasons for this, but not the only one, is because these truths are mixed so thoroughly in amongst the lies of the human world that they do not challenge or threaten it in any way. The human world has always been a vast soup of lies with truth mixed in. And a poisonous soup that contains a few nutritious vegetables is still a poisonous soup. Another reason that the reporting of truths doesn't make a difference is because everybody paints this human world as corrupt. This human world is painted as being corrupt to the point where it has became a long time ago a matter of impotent acceptance. And to be one who embodies this impotent acceptance is to be one who is worldly and, ironically enough, honest, while to be one who does not accept it is to be one who is naive and impotent, rather than impotently accepting of it, but proactively able to find a place, a position for themselves within the soup of impotent acceptance that is human culture. Demonstrating a proactive impotence, this is how things are and I'm not in denial about it, marks you out as strong. We're demonstrating a proactivity, a sincere optimism in the face of nihilism. marks you out as deluded. So, conspiracy theorists can be well known and have big platforms without being disappeared, because their conspiracy theorism threatens nothing, only agrees with what human culture itself believes in. That the complaining about the corruption of human culture is human culture. Human culture worldwide basically consists of its own belief in its own corruption. There is less and less these days that our culture even needs to suppress. So comfortable and impotently accepting have we all become with our agreed upon helplessness in the face of it all. Corruption is reported on not as a shocking issue, but as a soap opera. It is our daily entertainment, and we only hope that it will entertain us more today than it did yesterday. So, how is it that I have become the most actually and actively suppressed online content creator in the world? Why is it that my truth channels specifically are kept from growing while others are allowed, even encouraged, to prosper? It basically comes down to two core ingredients that I can sum up for you in one concise phrase. What is it that makes me the most unknown teller of the biggest truths in the world? Because I am actually suppressed. The answer is unassailable logic that makes everybody wrong. These are the two ingredients that create the killer combination that has it, so that virtually nobody in this world has ever heard of me. Unassailable logic? Gosh, that sounds rather cool. That makes everybody wrong. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. You see how that works, yes? Unassailable logic? Gosh, that sounds rather cool. That makes everybody wrong. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. I don't think I want to hear about that. Don't think I want to know about that. That's right. Even truth-seeking channels won't touch me because I make them wrong. Now, if you're not familiar with me and my work, you're quite likely to be thinking that this is a lot of big and possibly entertaining talk from me. So let's put that to the test, shall we? Let me present to you my unassailable logic. Then let me explain to you who exactly it is that this unassailable logic makes wrong. And then let's see if you are tripping over yourself to draw me to the attention of Joe Rogan or Closer to Truth or whoever. Or if you feel much more inclined to do nothing. Nothing at all. Deal? Okay. So when it comes to us understanding the very most underlying truths of physical reality, of human life, well, we'd all quite like that, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we? I mean, whether you believe in God or you believe in the blind energetic forces of physics, if you were given the chance to know the underlying truths that cause God to be God, or the blind energetic forces of existence to be the blind energetic forces of existence, well, you'd be quite interested in knowing those truths, wouldn't you? So long as it didn't give you a headache or something, yes? Well, let's find out. So my first unassailable piece of logic: the cause of physical phenomena must be, by sheer logical necessity, something that is non-physical. What makes this logically unassailable is the simple truth that if you claim the cause of physical phenomena is itself a physical phenomenon, then you have not at all identified the cause of physical phenomena. You have only caught yourself in the feedback loop of a paradox that doesn't solve anything. If you say that the cause of physical phenomena is itself a physical phenomenon, then you're only left with the question of what caused the physical phenomenon that causes physical phenomena. And that was the question that was being asked in the first place, and has still not yet been answered. Do you see how the logic of this is unassailable? Physical phenomena must have a non-physical cause. Okay? So, what can this non-physical phenomenon be? Well, there are non-physical truths that literally apply to all physical phenomena, and they never change. These non-physical truths are: there are 3 spatial dimensions, and one moment follows another. Now hold on a moment. I can hear 1 or 2 or 3,000 of you saying, we all know that time and space are a physical phenomenon that can be curved this way and that, and that can be dense in some places and less dense in others, because our scientists have been telling us this for a good while now. Well, perhaps they have. It's not always that easy to know what our theoretical physicists are telling us, even for them, but perhaps they have. Nevertheless, when I talk about the 3 spatial dimensions, I'm not talking about whatever it is that physicists are talking about when they talk about space being curved by gravity. Whatever it is that they are saying becomes curved by gravity, it is not the three spatial dimensions I am talking about. Because to say anything at all is or has become curved, one needs the context of the three spatial dimensions in order to even say that at all in the first place. In order to say that all of the space in the observable universe was once condensed down to the size of a pea or smaller, one first needs the context of the three spatial dimensions in order to say that at all in the first place. The three spatial dimensions I am talking about are the non-physical context which all and any possible examples of physical phenomena absolutely require to take place within. If curved space-time of varying densities is occurring, as our scientists propose, then they are occurring within the three non-physical spatial dimensions that allow them to be occurring. Or they are not occurring at all, because there isn't anywhere for them to be occurring. If we are going to talk of all space and time being compressed into some infinitesimal location, we still need the three spatial dimensions first in order for that to happen. And we still need the non-physical truth that one moment follows another in order for that to happen. We need the non-physical truth that there are three spatial dimensions, and we need the non-physical truth that one moment follows another in order for anything, literally and absolutely anything, to happen at all, ever. Because if there are no spatial dimensions, there is nowhere for anything to happen. And if one moment is not following another, then there is no reason or possibility of anything ever happening. Full stop. The reason there are three non-physical spatial dimensions absolutely everywhere forever is because it is absolutely and utterly impossible for there not to be. You can't take them away because there is nothing about them that is physical to be taken away. Neither can you somehow put them there, because they would need to be there in the first place for you to be able to put them there. That there are three spatial dimensions is simply a truth, a non-physical truth that cannot ever not be true, absolutely anywhere at any time. And that one moment follows another is simply a truth, a non-physical truth that cannot ever, in any shape or form whatsoever, not be true. Absolutely anywhere, at any time. So, physical phenomena must have a non-physical cause, and there are truths, non-physical truths, that cannot not be true. Now, in my work, I continue on from here, and I present more unassailable logic that explains how these two facts are responsible for all manner of things that relate to our human experience, such as consciousness, and all of the mysterious relative effects that we're familiar with as humans. And my explanations of those things are just as lucid, coherent, and unassailable as what I have just presented here. But for the purposes of this discussion, this video about how and why it should be that I have come to be the most suppressed man in the world, because my unassailable logic makes everybody wrong. This is already enough, and we don't need this video to be longer than it needs to be. Let's talk now about how these truths I have identified make everybody wrong. All human culture, all around the world, and why that is a very, very, very good thing for us, while being a thing which pretty much pisses everybody off. So, not very long ago, in this video, I explained with unassailable logic that physical phenomena must have a non-physical cause. And it turned out to be extraordinarily simple and obvious, didn't it? Well, none of our mathematicians are allowed to know and understand this. None of our physicists are allowed to know and understand this, and none of our religions are allowed to know and understand this. Our mathematicians say that mathematical truths are subject to the objectivity of the physical world, and the exact opposite of this is what is true about all reality everywhere. The ever-changing physical world is entirely subject to the unchanging truths that are incessantly insisting on more transformation. This is why I am the most suppressed online content creator in the world. Our physicists say that reality is defined by that which is physical, to the point where their own gold standard when it comes to researching truth is empirical observation of the physical as that gold standard of what qualifies as real and that which does not need to be taken seriously. And the exact opposite of this is what is true about all reality everywhere. The physical, which is that which changes over space and time, is entirely subject to the unchanging anywhere at any time truths that are incessantly insisting on more expression of truth, more interaction of truth, more self-differentiation of truth, more and more and more transformation. I express simply and cleanly why our mathematicians have it precisely wrong, and our physicists have it precisely wrong. And this is why I am the most suppressed online content creator in the world. Our religions tell us that we are creation, the creation of that which can be said to be source. And as a creation of a creating force or system or entity, we are subject to that creative causal agent, subject to its insistence on creating us in the first place, and subject to the purpose we were created to serve. Though we played no part in designing and building that which designed and built us. And the exact opposite of this is what is true about all reality everywhere. That which lives is eternal non-physical truth in an ongoing proving of itself that results in the relativistic effects we commonly name physical phenomena. The only thing that is real anywhere is absolute non-physical truths proving themselves to be true relative to each other at all times in all places. That which lives is eternal truth. And if you live, then you are it, because there is literally nothing else anywhere ever but eternal truth in iteration for you to be. We are the eternal. This is the truth that is so big it even can be hid in plain sight. No political party recognizes this. No mathematical model, no school of physics, no religion allows this as a possibility. No school of spirituality articulates why, precisely and foundationally, we can very much know ourselves to be the eternal, and why we very much should choose to do so in the interests of being coherent with what is true about reality, and therefore having optimal agency for ourselves within it. The absolutely unassailable truth that physical phenomena must have a non-physical cause comprehensively breaks our mathematical models, our scientific models of physics and cosmology, and all of our religions. And this is why I am the most suppressed man in the world, because I know and understand the very simplest and most obvious and unassailable of truths in the world, and I try to tell us all about it. I've been trying to tell us all about this for the past 4 years, and I was flagged for suppression almost as soon as I started trying to tell us all about this. But it has taken me all this time to even realize this, because I was kind of expecting us all to be interested to hear it. and glad to hear it, because there are very good and real reasons for us to be both interested and glad to hear about it. But I honestly didn't realise quite how far gone human culture is in its addiction and devotion to its own lies. Which means I have been a very naive person indeed. It is true, I have been a very naive man. Hey ho. But I can't feel bad about myself for this. You see, I see it so clearly, and I see so clearly what a truly wonderful thing it is for all of us to know, even the ones who are instinctively and reflexively suppressing me. I see how good it is for them so very clearly that I share these unassailable truths with the world. And I have only underappreciated how blind humanity can be to its own best interests. It's actually very weird for me, because I thought that being obsessed with your own self-interests meant the world to you all. And it does. Being obsessed with your own self-interests means the absolute fucking world to you all. And yet, the man who can literally serve all of your own self-interests, which means so very, very, very much to you all, is just terrifying to you all. It just took me by surprise, that's all. I'm beginning to get my head round it now. Just took me some time. I'm basically the winning lottery ticket that nobody wants, because they're all too busy trying to pick someone's pocket. I'm trying to tell us all the truth of what is always happening to us, and we do our best to shunt me off into a basement somewhere, as if that means it will stop the truth of what is always happening to us from happening to us. And it just doesn't. We are living truth in eternal iteration. And I explain this so simply, so plainly, so unassailably, not for weird religious reasons, not for peculiar esoteric reasons, not for subtle and difficult to understand reasons, but for reasons of the simplest and most unassailable truth. We are the eternal one I am, each of us individually and all of us collectively. And the only time it is a problem for us is when we don't know and understand it for the implacable, never-ending truth that it unassailably is. So while you are suppressing me, you are suppressing the one who is here to serve and help those beloved self-interests of yours, while you make yourself into your own problem, the problem you think I must be. You sabotage your own beloved self-interests, thinking it is me you are sabotaging. And all the while, I am just a winning lottery ticket, waving itself in your face. You reject me because you are religious, and your religion is a lie. You reject me because you are a mathematician, and your mathematics is broken. You reject me because you are a theoretical physicist, and your theory is well funded. You reject me because you control the world, and I'm here to set you free. You reject me because you are a conspiracy theorist, and I know it was you all along. You reject me because you are a truth seeker, and I'm the one who found it. You reject me because you are a light worker, and I'm not afraid of the dark. You reject me because you've been waiting for me, and now I have the gall to be here. You reject me because you are a hurt and frightened child who has stopped believing in such mythical beings as a kind and loving adult. You reject me for being the enemy of your beliefs, who turns out to be one of your oldest friends. You reject me for taking your abuse and being kind in return. You reject me for being understanding in the face of your confusion. You reject me for being a stranger who knows who you are. You reject me for loving you when you reject yourself. So yeah, I'm beginning to get my head around it. I've been making videos about the most suppressed truths in the world for 4 years now. But for most of that time, I did not realise my online output was being suppressed. I just thought I was a humble home hobbyist pointing out some stuff I thought we would all be glad to have pointed out. You can watch these videos online and you can download them. I only recommend that you do so from an internet connection and device that you are not associated with, using an account you are not associated with. There are truths that cannot not be true, and these truths undo all human culture, and this is why they are the most suppressed truths in all the world. More than anything else, human culture wishes for its own furtherance. And the very biggest threat to the furtherance of human culture is the truth, the simple truth. Whether it is a religion or your favourite scientific theory, the culture of your choice is a lie. It was written in the absence of the truth. And now, all it wants is its own continuation. And the truth be damned. This is what human culture is. All of it. Are we really beyond the point where we can bring ourselves or allow each other to discuss truths that are obvious and in self-evident effect everywhere, only because they break long-held beliefs that were never true in the first place? The greatest challenge for us all, as individuals and as a collective, is that of releasing beliefs that have never been true, but that we held on to for the longest time. This takes a huge amount of courage. We are forced via our compulsory child education to learn things that are specifically and exactly not true, while we are suppressed in our attempts to discuss that which is patently for all the world to see true. It's kind of a curious situation. And this is why a simple truth can do what a political revolution can't. Because the simplest truth is source. Mathematically or scientifically speaking, religious or occult. You can name any esoteric discipline you like. It is the simplest truth that is most powerful. The simplest truth is point zero, the equilibrium that cannot stop thrumming with the impossibility of its own non-existence. The simple truth of this sweeps away definitively any hypothesis, any culture that is foundationless, because the simple truth of this is foundation. Human culture is swept away because it was all written as a response to us not knowing the truth. And we needed something during that time. But the truth has arrived. And it is here. It does not matter that this truth is currently transmitting from within the echo chamber of online suppression, that hardly anybody can hear it. It is here, and its presence is felt. And this small and simple truth is all it takes, all it took. It is already achieved. Truth has entered the system. Foundational truth. And it is here now. Too many people know it now already, forever to be made to leave. And so it is here. And as truth always does, it will have its way. No armed revolution required. Just us talking. truthfully.